we have pretty dramatic changes that have occurred over the last year and couple of months. And right now, in any reform movement, be it for smaller learning communities or the new pre-K or the new math and reading systems, you have an unfreezing of the system first, and that unfreezing of the system causes people to be uncomfortable, and that happens all over the country in any setting, regardless of the size of the district, regardless of whatever. Or you could do nothing. If you do nothing, then everybody's still in their comfort zone and nothing happens. But in a system like ours, a very challenged socio-demographic system where student achievement has not really been at the top priority level in any sense of the word, I was brought in very clearly by the board members to reform the system and get academic achievement up and running. To their credit, and I give them plenty of credit for having brought me in. And I told them very clearly, for the first year to year and a half, there's going to be a discomfort zone. There has to be. You're going to get calls, and I remember as if it were yesterday, me telling them at the interview, you're going to get calls, you're going to get fussing, you're going to get discomfort, because that's what an unfreezing and resettling of the system is all about. And unfortunately, we're right at the pinnacle of that.
In a perfect world, you should never introduce more than one program perhaps in a year's time. And Mr. Amato had come in saying we're going to take a year to assess, which is the sensible thing to do, and nothing like that was happening. I mean, it was lots of look busy and let's have lots of action, but it wasn't focused action. And it wasn't guided action.
That we're not fearful of change, because being a DAET district or a program improvement district, obviously we have to change what we're doing because it's not being effective. It's redundant to do the same things that give you the same results. Understood. But the thing about it is, are we part of the process to deliver that change? And how are we going to evaluate the process in which it gets placed and or evaluated?
The changing of culture by trying to make people believe in the culture first, that there's a need for change, in my opinion, has rarely worked anywhere in the country. Trying to talk about a change versus doing the change doesn't give people substance to believe in. If you go in and say, let's try this change, and then if it works, then that shifts the culture. If it doesn't work, then you're dead in the water, period. But if it does work, and it does give you the results that you're seeing in front of you, then by definition, that's the aha that the cultural shift then occurs, because they have something to shift about. They actually see scores going up X amount. They actually see more graduates. They actually see fewer dropouts. They actually see more kids in college, et cetera, et cetera.
What we are seeking, both from the school board and from the district personnel, is that there's got to be a more cohesive partnership, both with your teachers and your classified workers, because we're the troops on the ground. And what we're seeing now under Amato's leadership is total non-leadership. I've worked in this district for 22 years, and in the classrooms, we've never seen the kind of chaos we see now. And we've mentioned this in several conversations with you and letters to them, saying, you know, there's no real depth of planning. It's let's toss out a quick answer, or let's run up a big announcement. And then it turns out that it doesn't fit, you know, the classrooms, doesn't fit doesn't fit with the community, or it's making false promises, which again is there to benefit Amato and not the students and the teachers.
I've been here 7 years, and it gets really tiresome to do battle, and you shouldn't have to do battle. I mean, you're going to be in situations of disagreement, but when it comes down ultimately to the educational environment, and in this situation with CSEA wants to be a partnership, and we want to be in a place where we can respectfully agree or disagree. We haven't been able to get there, and Mr. Amato's coming on board and his leadership has caused it to get worse.
Resigning, having the board vote you out or whatever, to me it's all the same. You're on a mission, the mission has been interrupted. So to me it doesn't matter, you know, what the final protocol is or what the final strategy is for exiting. It's all in the same pot for me. And the same pot is, you've been given a mission. If you're allowed to complete the mission, then you're very proud that you've been given that opportunity to serve kids. And if you're not, whether it's resignation or board vote or whatever, it's all the same. You're taking off your mission. You're taking off your passion, and you're taking off your vision. So it all hurts in the same way. So there's no differentiation in my mind.